So, I'm just going to talk about a little bit of a experience that I've had during the last few incursions where we used to depend on getting Sledgehammer on the bosses to do a little bit extra damage. So, since Sledgehammer has been in some way nerfed, so that now when it apply, only the player that applies it does the damage um, to the enemy. In this case, it would be the bosses. Um, so I'm just going to talk about an alternative that I've been using since. Actually, it's a thing that I've been using for a long time since it was introduced in the game. Which is the use of the BusyLittleBee exotic pistol, which also gives 20% weapon damage per tagged enemy. So, Sledgehammer gives 20% damage to armor, but the end result will be the same. Um, and I'll show you in a bit practical test here in the shooting range. So with Sledgehammer, there's always the thing that you need to throw the grenade and make sure it hits the enemy or the bosses, and then that you're holding your shotgun or whatever weapon you have, either perfect Sledgehammer or just normal Sledgehammer on. And that's always it's always a thing that you either hit or miss, and sometimes it's just a shit mechanic, in my opinion. So I think that the BusyLittleBee, it's a much better option, since you can tag up to 10 enemies and get 200% weapon damage, or you can just tag one and have 20%. So every player on the group has to switch to their little bee, shoot the boss, switch back to the assault rifle or whatever weapon you use, and apply the damage to the boss. And it's not just a boss thing. You can do. I use it when I play solo in group, missions, control points, legendary, doesn't matter, raid. I use this a lot. I will just stack my little bee, a BusyLittleBee, and then apply damage to the enemies. So it is a good damage buff that you get out of it. And if you tag multiple enemies, that's always a plus. In the case of the incursion, for example, at the end fight, you can tag both bosses and the drone, and there's always enemies running around as well in that boss fight. So you always have some enemy to tag to get damage buffs out of it. For this test, I will not use a weapon with expertise. I'm just using the lefty to show you the damage numbers with the Sledgehammer, and then I have the Carabine 7 named version, the drill, which has it has no expertise done to it. So I that way I'm not changing the numbers by having expertise or anything weird, and I'm not shooting anything on long range to get the drill buff anyway. The reason I'm doing it with the Carabine 7, it's because I understand that a lot of people like the Lexington, or in the case of the St. Elmo's engine. If you're using the exotic pistol, you can't use the St. Elmo's engine, and the Carabine 7 of all of these M4 clones per se, the Carabine 7 has a little bit more of base damage, but has a little bit less RPM than the Lexington. So either of them works. In my case, my Lexington is 27 expertise, so I didn't want to test with it. I'm just gonna test with the drill because it's the closest one. So this is just DPS build that I've played with for a few years now, and it gets the job done on anything I do, so I kind of like it. This works on any build that you decide to use it with. Just use your BusyLittleBee to stack the damage and then switch to your assault rifle, SMG, whatever, and get the damage ready to go. So let's give it a test here. So we have our elite with armor, and yeah, damage on armor is 254. So now we're going to apply our, hopefully we're going to apply our Sledgehammer there. And I didn't want him to bleed, so give me a second. Oh shit. Well, I'm looking like an idiot now, but come on, game. What? What the hell is this? Okay, so now we hit this guy. It's 304. So we went from, Jesus, it was all the way back there, 254 to 304. And this is Sledgehammer being applied here. So now we're going to tag him with a BusyLittleBee. I'm going to shoot him again. Oh, look at that, 304. It's the same, exact same 20% buff. So, and you don't have to mess around with grenades. You just need to tag one enemy, come back to your weapon, and have your damage buff. It lasts 10 seconds, same as Sledgehammer, so the timing of using it, it's pretty much the same. But in my opinion, it's a much better way of getting damage to the boss or in general gameplay. And if you tag 2 enemies, that's 40%, 3 enemies, 60%, and so on. So if I shoot this guy now, oh shit, we got a million body shot crit, 406 on the last shot. So if we kill this guy now, so that's it. And I always hated the mechanic behind the Sledgehammer, having to hit with a grenade and then the guy dodges the grenade, you don't get the buff, and well, screw that shit. I think that playing with the BusyLittleBee, it's a much safer option to get the damage, and it works well with striker builds, whatever build. To be honest, 20% is, even if you just tag the boss, it's 20%. It's always welcome. A good damage, and we always welcome more damage when it comes to doing DPS. So even works with if you want to do one-shot builds with sniper or rifle, it works the same. You just tag enemies and bam, there you go, a bunch of damage ready to go. That's pretty much it. There's nothing else to it. So here you go. And like I was saying, if we activate the base damage here, just to give you an idea, St. Elmo's base damage is 46.9, and that's the same as the M4. I know they have the same exact stats and the same base damage. Lexington has 49.3, and the Carabine 7 has 49.8. So I think that either the Lexington or a Carabine 7 is a good option for any DPS builds. I don't use them. I use them on occasionally. I will use a Carabine 7 or even the Lexington because it's new. It's something that I really enjoyed on the first game. So it's an iconic weapon. And but yeah, my to-go assault rifle is the so-called Mark 16. I love this weapon. That's what I use on my DPS builds. Even striker build, this thing just, it has a very high base damage, so it just destroys things. But if you like St. Elmo's, some people enjoy having 70 bullets, but I mean this weapon has no damage talent on it. It's the reason that I don't play with it. I would rather play with Strega, that debuffs enemies. Well, I mean it buffs your damage by tagging enemies within 20 meters. So even the Strega is, in my opinion, a better weapon. Even with just 40 bullets, is a better weapon than St. Elmo's. But that's maybe because it fits my playstyle a little bit better. If you're a St. Elmo's fanboy, well, you can't use the BusyLittleBee. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you're willing to try any other weapon, assault rifle, SMG, whatever floats your boat, the BusyLittleBee is a good means of acquiring more damage to your build. So yeah, go get them, Tiger. Wait a second, I didn't forget. Here you go. Play with the fucking balls, man.